that they matter, that they belong. So don't be afraid. You hear me? Young people, don't be afraid. Be focused. Be determined. Be hopeful. Be empowered. Empower yourselves with a good education. Then get out there and use that education to build a country worthy of your boundless promise. Lead by example with hope, never fear. Our greatness has never, ever come from sitting back and feeling entitled to what we have. It's never come from folks who climb the ladder of success or who happen to be born near the top and then pull the ladder up after themselves. No, Our greatness has always come from people who expect nothing and take nothing for granted. Folks who work hard for what they have, then reach back and help others after them. Success isn't about how your life looks to others. It's about how it feels to you. We realize that being successful isn't about being impressive. It's about being inspired. And that's what it means to be your true self. It means looking inside yourself and being honest about what you truly enjoy doing, because graduates, I can promise you that you will never be happy plodding through someone else's idea of success. Success is only meaningful and enjoyable if it feels like your own. You should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. And I know that because I've seen it myself. Not just as a student working my way through school, but years later, before I came to the college, I went to the dean of a college. In that role, I was kind of student who had everything. Their parents paid their full tuition, they lived in beautiful places to belong. They had every material to go to the college to read cars, computers, spending money. But when some of them got their first bad grade, they just fell apart.
About 2 minutes ago.
They lost it.
In the library.
Because they were ill-equipped to handle their first encounter with disappointment or falling short.
Got the papers from Auntie.
But graduates, as you all know, life will put many obstacles in your path that are far worse than a bad grade.
Now about the train.
You'll have unreasonable bosses and difficult clients and patients. You'll experience illnesses and losses, crises and setbacks that will come out of nowhere and knock you off your feet. But unlike so many other young people, you have already developed the resilience and the maturity that you need to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep moving through the pain. Keep moving forward. You may be feeling some real anxiety about venturing out into the world beyond the walls. And I'm not going to lie to you, for many of you, this is going to be a pretty big transition. In fact, I think Dr. Martin Luther King described it well in his commencement address, and he proudly declared, quote, "Today you bid farewell to the safe security of the academic environment. You prepare to continue your journey on the humorous highway of life." We all feel at times a little bit lost, and we all have some kind of emptiness that we're searching to fill. And often it is only through serving others that we find what's been missing in our own lives. And like so many of you, through service, I was able to find what I needed to tell the talk in my life that truly felt like my own. And the truth is, those seminars where you explored new ideas, those conversations where you challenge each other and learn from each other, after all of that, you might find yourself a little dismayed by the clamor, the name calling, the negative impact, folks yelling at each other on TV, the power of inventing the future. I just want to pause for a moment on the word invent. Because the phrase isn't succeed in the future. It's not plan for the future or do the best you can in the future. It's invent the future. And with those three words comes a simple message. A call to chart your own course and live life on your own terms. And that's a lesson that I first learned back when I was a kid. And some of you have done it like I did, maybe because kids very few of them had the chance to go to college, where being teased for doing well in school was just a fact of life. Where well-meaning but misguided folks question whether a girl with my background could get into the kinds of colleges I dreamed of. After being surrounded by people who are so dedicated to serving others and making the world a better place, I feel a little discouraged by the polarization and violence that too often characterize our politics and civic living. And in the face of all that clamor, just run the other way as fast as you can. You might be tempted to find a community of like-minded folks and work with them on causes you care about and just tune out all of the noise. It was hard, and I did my best to tune out those voices of doubt, including the ones inside my own head. And eventually I was accepted to Princeton, and I got that education that my dad had. But the truth is, there will always be folks who make assumptions about you based on superficial things like where you're from, or what you're wearing, or how you look. There will always be folks who judge you based on just one thing that you say or do, folks who define you based on one isolated incident. I want to urge you to do just the opposite. Today, I want to suggest that if you truly wish to carry on the Oberlin legacy of service and social justice, then you need to run to and not away from the noise. Today, I want to urge you to actively seek out the most contentious, polarized, gridlock places you can find. Because so often throughout our history, those have been the places where progress really happens. The places where minds are changed, lives transformed. In the end, people can only define you if you let them. In the end, it's up to each of us to define ourselves. It's up to each of us to invent our own future with the choices we make and the actions we take. To succumb to feelings of despair and anger only means that in the end we lose. Those feelings are not an excuse to just throw up our hands and give up. Not an excuse. They are not an excuse to lose hope. But here's the thing. Our history provides us with a better story, a better blueprint for how we can win. It teaches us that when we pull ourselves out of the lowest emotional depths and we channel our frustrations into studying and organizing and banding together, then we can build ourselves and our communities up. We can take on those deep-rooted problems, and together we can overcome anything that stands in our way. Nothing,
1 minute rest
and
time.
I mean nothing, is going to stop you from fulfilling your dreams.
3 minute rounds, 5 rounds.
And you deserve every last one of the successes that I know you will have. But I also want to be very clear that with those successes comes a set of obligations to share the lessons you've learned here at this school. The obligation to use the opportunities you've had to help others. That means raising your hand when you get a seat in that board meeting and asking the question, well, whose voices aren't being heard here? What ideas are we missing? It means adding your voice to our national conversation, speaking out for our most cherished values of liberty, opportunity, inclusion, and respect, the values that you've been living here at this school. It means reaching back to help young people who've been left out and left behind, helping them prepare for college, helping them pay for college. So I want you all to go out there Build great lives for yourself. Enjoy the liberties that you have in this great country. Pursue your own version of happiness. And please, please always do your part to help others do the same.
Your bed every morning, you'll accomplish the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter.
Yep.
If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made. That you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. It matters not whether you ever served a day in uniform. It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious background, your orientation, or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar, and the lessons to overcome those struggles and to move forward, changing ourselves and changing the world around us, will apply equally well. If you think it's hard to change the lives of 10 people, change their lives. Changing the world. At that darkest moment of the day is a time when you need to be and your inner strength must be built. If you want to change the world, you must be your very best in the darkest moment. If I have learned anything in the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person. A Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world. Respect everyone. More than life is step up and face down and never ever give up. If you will live in a world far will indeed have changed the world. Finally, in SEAL training, there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all students to see. All you have to do is change the world, don't ever ring the bell.
On the road to your dream. The question is, are you willing to sacrifice? It's a story of the general who lured his men into war. And as they got into the fleet of boats, they were going to take an island. As they reached the island, the men got off the boats, and the general gathered his men before they went into battle. He looked at them and he gave them 3 words. Burn the boats. Now, this is powerful because he's telling them there is no retreat. Absolutely no retreat. Like option A is the only option. Option B isn't possible. And he instilled into his men a mindset of courage and clarity, of conviction that allows them to understand that this is the energy that you need to go and win this battle. The reason why this story is so powerful, because each and every one of us, as we're going into the battle of life, whatever it is that we are trying to accomplish, this mindset is necessary. Like you dream getters, when you're going after a goal, when you're going after your aspirations, when you're going after something that might feel different to you, it might be bigger than the shoes that you're in. The general is telling you that you need your mindset to be ready for the war that oftentimes many of us step into new scenarios and new experiences.
And if you don't have what you want, stop telling yourself the story that you had the money all the time. It's because you haven't convinced yourself that you were burning the boat. 19 islands, people are ready to die.
And the general was looking at his men and he understood that he needed to literally light a fire within them. He needed to ignite something in them that let them know that he was going to lead them to victory and nothing else. And oftentimes for many of us, that is a difficult mindset to get into. It is very difficult to step into a new arena, a new situation, a new environment, and have the courage, the confidence, the conviction, and the clarity to know that it's yours. In environments where you have to grow. Sometimes are you willing to make the individual that you need to be to go after and dream? So my question to you, as we step into the universe, as we're growing into the next version of ourselves, have we burned our boats?
Assistance, and I $11.42. I said, Mommy will never be this broke. To completely so that I can the reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, I've always been this way. Okay, well if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me anymore. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You're trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be rescue 911. And you gotta rescue you first. I am much more valuable to my family and to my community because I was willing to let them go. Go through the door, myself, teach myself, learn myself, condition myself, and then come back and get them. I'm much more valuable to them now. But I had to go through a window time of 10 years of judgment. You leaving us and you all the time. You going to these crazy countries. We don't know what you. I had to be willing to allow my conviction to make me believe. See, we want to do things that are nothing. I was willing to do my best to risk of my peace. I want that. My job was to like me first. I was willing to say everyone. You say, to buy my possibility, to give my dream a chance. See, we're not supposed to tuck our dreams on the pillow when we're talking about it. We're not supposed to look at the time. You may have a divorce. Your human spirit doesn't care about any of that. Your human spirit says, it's not keeping score. Your brain is keeping score. So your brain is designed to keep you safe. Your soul, your intuition, your human spirit is designed to make you safe. When you get to the edge, your brain will always tell you to step back. It's always going to tell you to step back. Because you can fall. Always. It's going to tell you to step back. Because before you fail, when you do this, when you fall to the left there, you can hurt. You can not hurt. It's going to tell you it's designed to keep you safe. So you have to be willing to take the conversation of being yourself. And on some days, you do not listen to yourself. You get to the edge. Most people are at the edge. And you're standing at the edge and you're watching everyone else for you. Watch my cribs and all this stuff. You're watching your videos on Facebook. You're at the edge. You can see this. Wondering what can be like when you do it. And I'm just going to tell you, jump. Because only 3 years to happen. You have to be jumping. Are you going to jump and fall on something? So, are you going to fall on your head? Your greatest fear is not that you will fall. The greatest fear is that you will fall like a You're designed before they will see who you really are. Before they really get your fingerprints. Before they really feel your breath. Before they really get your contribution. Before they really feel you. That's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to leave this place without us knowing you were here. All I'm doing is giving my dream a chance. And I'm not extraordinary. You don't get off here. You don't get to be left behind. I'm an ordinary woman who chooses every day to make one more extraordinary decision.
I've come a long way, but I have a long way to go. I'm on a journey where I've come a long way, but I still have a vision that I have to reach for. And as I'm going on this journey, I'm realizing that there are a few things that are absolutely imperative.
4:47 p.m.
Number one, you can't do it. Nothing that you're after can be really done alone. You have to understand who is on your team, who is a part of your team, how are you contributing and adding value to their lives, and how are they contributing and adding value to yours. Who are you sacrificing for? Because if they're not there, I promise you that reward will feel so empty.
Oh.
Number two, what sacrifices are you going to make? Dreams require sacrifice. Oftentimes it requires time spent alone, time spent doing something that you never thought. Where are you going, and what are the things that you're saying you know? And last but not least, what is the legacy that you're this word legacy is interesting because oftentimes legacy is something that you do every day. How do you walk into this? What are you leaving behind? What impression are you leaving behind? How are you moving and operating in a way that someone understands what you stand for and who you are now? What is your legacy you're walking? It's not something that you build at the end of your life. It's something that you're doing right now. Because if you
the question is just where do I go get it? My highest grade in school was a C+. And when I got a C+, I did the happy dance. And so I didn't have a background where studying was natural for me. But when I realized that if I go study something and I learn it, I own it, it's mine now, man, it was crazy because all through school I struggled. The last time I took an English class, my English teacher told me I was the weakest writer she ever met in her entire life. Yeah, lovely. And the same year I took a speech class, and my speech teacher, he said, quote unquote, Ms. Nichols, I recommend you never speak in public, that you get a desk job. And so it's just, you know, it was demotivated people, sad people hurt, sad people make other people sad. Bottom line, don't take it personal, hurt people hurt. See, most people want the convenience of transformation without the inconvenience required for transformation. So my grandmother says, and I love to repeat this, your conviction, what you're passionate about, your conviction and your convenience don't live on the same block. They ain't even in the same zip code. So if you want to have a conviction for something, I'm just not going to stop because I believe all things are available to us. I just want to act. And that is so much it's easier to live inside the parameters of the central. Well, perfection well. And so we're all waiting for perfect. It's an illusion that will never come to you, and it's an excuse to never show up in person. Your story is not meant to be your fortress. Your story is meant to be your fortress. Any story, like the fact, the beauty of me being over the top. That's the beauty. It wouldn't be a big deal if my family. I'm supposed to do something. The beauty is that when you show the little engine that could story, like I'm not gonna run fast, but I ain't gonna stop. I might slow down and have to breathe and catch my breath, but I'm not stopping because I believe all things are right. And good people feel good. And when good people do what? Good people do more good at it. And that same thing.
All good.
See, you don't want to be as great as you really are.
My second half of my training.
So
That I
that
do every day.
insecure about
Right.
themselves in your presence.
I do an hour boxing, this boxing
And
is
so
not.
you keep playing at 79 watts when you know you're supposed to shine at 159 watts. And you keep checking the temperature of the room to see what the room can handle versus just giving the room you and letting in if your light's too bright and let them put on some shades. Can you give yourself permission to look at the duality of your imperfections and your smallness and what you're learning and what you still have to learn and your greatness and your brilliance and your light? Can you allow them to coexist and then serve
That
them to the
matters.
world?
The alpha and the
To
omega.
love you, to see you, to
Beginning and
help
the
you,
end. First
to
and
judge
last.
you, to leave you, to love you. You're just, some of us are just as afraid of being loved as we are to be left. If you go where you've never gone, do what you've never done, and say what you've never said, you'll become the woman and man you've always
Break
known
it, I'm gonna go an
yourself.
hour of this boxing today.
I was on the phone last night with 2020's customer service team. I need a refund. Listen, this is not what I signed up for on January the 1st. I had resolutions on my fridge. I had goals in my journal. I had quarterly benchmarks I needed to hit. This is not the year I signed up for. I have my receipt and I want my damn money back. You know what the lady said to me? You know what she said? We don't do refunds, Mr. Roberts. All sales are final. Make it work. Say what? There's a pandemic ravaging the globe. I can't leave my house and this woman tells me to make it work. Listen, when you sit at the poker table, you don't get to play both sides. You're not the dealer. The cards you get are the cards you get. Your hand is your hand and you gotta play it out. Now the question is, are you gonna play it out or fold? That's the question. This hand you've been dealt by the blackjack dealer called life, are you gonna play it out or fold? Hey, we gotta play it out. And this tornado that swept through your life, through your family, the storm that has overturned your business, uprooted your dreams, this was not the plan. But let me tell you what's about to happen. Somebody is going to emerge from this crisis better than when they walked in. Out of the ashes, someone is going to rise up with the light of the gods shining on their face. Out of the pit, the warrior is going to stand up, bloody, beaten, bruised, scarred. She's gonna look like she's been through hell and back, because she has. And the question is that gonna be you? Okay, so your season got cut short. Now what? You gonna jump on the gram and talk about how you got gypped? How many buckets you would have had? How many many medals you would have won? You gonna stop training? You gonna stop waking up early? You gonna stop hitting the pavement? You gonna stop eating right? You gonna stop getting in extra reps? So your book deal fell through. Now what? You gonna stop writing? You gonna stop emailing publishers? You gonna stop looking for editors? Hey, listen, I get it, I understand. But you got this. Here's what winners do. They assess, adapt, advance. In the words of the great Ray Lewis, you gotta be a different creature now than you were 3 months ago. Coach, what you want me to do? Assess, adapt, advance, assess. Hey, listen, it's time to take inventory. This is a battlefield. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities to capitalize? Adapt. How can I take advantage of this situation? What can I learn? What can I get better at? What books can I read? What podcasts can I listen to? How do I use this time to get better at my craft? That's the question. And then we gotta advance. Oh yeah, this is the time to push. This is the time to move forward. This is not the time to retreat. I'm gonna repeat that. This is not the time to retreat. Somebody's gotta win, and it might as well be you. So move. Coach, but what move should I make? Any damn move. The problem is that you're sitting on the sideline, second guessing every play, every step, every call. It's gotta feel right. The stars have to align. Get off the sideline and get in the game. You know how many things have to go right every single morning for you to wake up? There are 1,281 mechanisms in your body that have to fire in order for the human body to wake up. You're not getting up every morning on accident. You're the baddest machine on the planet. Now it's time to be the baddest you were built to be. When the dust settles, the COVID-19 goes the way of the bubonic plague. There are some people who are going to walk out of their houses with better bodies than they had before the lockdown. There are going to be people who will walk out of their houses fluent in a language they didn't know. There are going to be people who will walk out of their houses being able to code better than before the lockdown. There are going to be people who will walk out of their houses with a book written. That's the reality. That person's going to be you. That person's going to be me. 2020, we don't need no damn refund. We're ready to win. No struggle, no progress. Stay in the deep end.
Stop and continue the second video. I'll post on YouTube as workout for today, second video. Part of this one.